Welcome back, Quarter Life Critics, a bi-weekly show where we review the best TV and film the world has to offer. And today, I'm sitting with two of my best buddies. Grant, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, dude?
Hey. And Pat, how's it going?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Cool. So I'm going to get right into it. So, Quarter Life Critics, guys, every week we choose a director to guide us, to pick the movie, to discuss the movie, to analyze the movie, to ask, the thought-provoking questions that some people are afraid to ask. And this week, our director is none other than Mr. Patrick Starr. Patrick, take it away.
Wait.
Whoa. Hey!
Thank you. You are too kind. You're too kind. Yes, it is true. You guys really are no need to go on so long. Thank you, though. It is true. I am the director today. And I selected a movie that, is a little bit different. It's not something that you just kind of hear about day to day. You might not have ever heard of it, like me, before watching it. And I don't think either of you guys had ever heard of it before. But
I've heard of it.
I don't know what you're talking about, so...
Grant's a fraud.
Movie?
The movie's Rear Window. And Grant, if you'd like to introduce it, please take it away.
Yeah, Rear Window. So it's a Hitchcock film. So one of the OGs. It is. I don't have a year in front of me, but it's a Hitchcock film. And it's about a wheelchair-bound photographer. And he spies on his neighbors from Greenwich Village courtyard apartment window, and he becomes convinced that one of them has committed a murder, despite the skepticism of his girlfriend, of his friend detective that he hires, and among others. At first, do you have a year? Let me look this up.
1954.
1954, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. It stars James Stewart, Grace Kelly, Wendell Corey. It is rated the 49th top film on IMDb, top 250. So
Really?
that is up there. Yeah. 50 in the best 50 films ever, according to IMDb, which, is based off of the people's ratings. It's 4 Oscar nominees. Best Director, Hitchcock. Best Writing Screenplay was John Mitchell Hayes. Best Cinematography, Color, Robert Burks. Best Sound, Lauren L. Ryder from Paramount. IMDb is an 8, a whopping 8.5 out of 10. And it came in with a $37 million box office with a $1 million budget.
$1 million.
Those are not shocking statistics. I feel like the movie didn't seem expensive. It had an interesting set. The whole movie takes place in kind of one guy's apartment, and he's just looking out his rear window. He's, Grant said he's immobilized, so he's, some sort of, international photographer going into war zones and all over the place. And during, I think he was at like a race car rally. He was trying to get a great shot, and one of the cars hit his leg, and he's immobilized. So he's basically just creeping on his neighbors and checking them out. And because it's in the 50s and it's roaring hot in New York, everyone's out and about and sharing their business through their open windows. So, what'd you guys think? What'd you guys think?
Well, first, you mentioned, kind of the basic of gist of the plot. He's just looking out his window. I just want to say this. It's an interesting movie. I just loved how, no one ever, well, we can get into a little bit later and into the end, but no one ever is looking at him. He's somehow able to have, a super deep insight into every single person's life, but no one is ever like, what the hell is that guy doing up there? Which is, part of the film.
Yeah. I think, you could maybe say it's like he I don't think most people are window watching, like watching others and people watching out of their window. He's kind of only been even inclined or noticed, other people's lives is because he has nothing else to do, except watch them.
Yeah, he's.
But I'm with you. I think
Yeah.
I think he would.
I mean,
notice
especially
them.
there's no internet. Barely. I mean, probably some shitty TV, but
They enjoyed life, Quinn. They went
they
out
did.
and about and they
it was a
did
different
things.
time.
Yeah.
They were living lives.
I thought that there there was some suspense, that when you're showing all these scenes of other people, you're expecting them to like look and make eye contact with them, right? But I think that builds, the suspense. It never really happens until the end.
There is one moment, well, at the end, but his reaction to like being spotted is to just like roll back in his chair like 1 inch, and he's like, "We're good now. We're good." Like,
Yeah,
It's
like there's some sort of video game dynamic where like if they can't see your face, like you're safe.
You're good.
He's always like, oh, like get back into the shadows, and then like their whole bodies are still in the light, but whatever, it works.
I felt like it was plausible just because everyone was pretty busy and doing stuff, and they had juicy stories to tell the world and show their craziness. So, did you guys feel like there was anything confusing in this movie? Anything that you were, what happened? Any sort of thing that you wanted to call out that you especially liked or didn't like?
So one thing that comes to mind, which I don't know if they needed to do, but in this movie, I guess it would be, it's kind of like a mystery thriller sort of type movie. And I think usually you have all these events occur and there's kind of this debate, like, did this person kill the wife? And there's a lot of alibis and a lot of reasons why he is not guilty. And then, spoiler alert, at the end, they reveal he is guilty, but they never kind of clean up any of the alibis or like, say who was in on it or like how did he get away with it? Who was it? Which I don't think is a fault of the movie, but I was kind of like, I kind of forgot.
Like, did he cut her? Yeah.
Did he cut her up? Did he rely on his like mistress, whoever, like he was calling like long distance to someone to, maybe that was the person that was mailing these postcards and stuff, but like who the hell, I don't know. They just never really explained that part.
It was kind of implied that like they got everything right.
Yeah, they nailed it.
They nailed it.
Because it seemed like he'd have to go through a lot to kind of cover up all these loose ends.
Mm-hmm. And it was, for me, it felt a little weird, like how everyone pretty much told him, mind your business, like quit looking at this guy, when it's like he was doing some strange things, Like I felt like he had a very plausible case that he told the police officer when he was kind of talking to him. This guy's had, a weapon in his living room, disappeared. His wife, sick wife, gone, nothing. And then he's like going out in the middle of the night, like multiple times, like when she disappears. And then the dog is digging something up right outside the apartment. But
dogs are always getting into trouble.
Yeah, I guess so. That's mind your business, you invalid. I don't know. It felt a little strange to me, but I guess maybe that is just a culture shift.
Yeah.
What felt strange to you?
That his story was not plausible to the other characters in the story at first. Yeah.
Well, did you believe? I mean, were you going back and forth?
No, I definitely.
Or were you pretty dead set? Like,
Yeah.
This is a movie about this dude killing this person. He had to have killed him.
Yeah, I went into it
I guess like when I was like listening to the detective, like that, especially when they were like, listen, like we like went to the train station, there's a bunch of witnesses, like she received the luggage, blah. I was like, yeah, like he like the detective never really took him seriously, obviously, like but I mean, um, what's his name? Jeff. Jeff.
Jeff.
Jeff. He was very obsessive, you know, and like kind of like I don't know.
A little
But did you?
conspiracy theorist. Okay, yeah, I could see that angle.
Yeah, he like seemed like I mean when you I feel like if I would walk into my friend's apartment and this dude's been cooped up for like 7 weeks and he's like there was a murder and you're like okay dude like why don't you and
You
just
settle
chill
down.
out a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah.
I mean, you especially you're sleeping at the window.
Yeah,
I
he's
could
falling
definitely see the
asleep.
movie.
He stayed up till 6 a.m. He's like staying up till 6 a.m. watching that shit. You're like,
That's about the time I
bro,
fell asleep.
you know? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, those are some good takes.
Yeah, I thought it could have been a life movie about, you just saw the wrong side of things and you're, because the girlfriend kind of makes a point where she says something like why are we so upset that like the person didn't kill, uh, the salesman didn't kill his wife. So I thought it might have been turning into a lesson that, stop being concerned with other people's affairs and because there's more than meets the eye and it could have went in a different direction, but it didn't do that.
Okay.
Liked I don't know if you saw this, Pat. We got a comment from Eddie Wild. Love the design of the movie. So much jam packed in a little apartment.
I think we'll talk about the cinematography a little bit later, but yeah, I do I agree, right? Like the actual set design and the cinematography of it almost looked like a stage, right? Like it's more theatrical in a way, but it was like gorgeous and really well done.
Definitely. It felt kind of real, like you were literally just like almost too real because of like how easy everyone's apartment was to see into, but like you literally got like their characters and like a story about all of them, and it felt very authentic. It was cool. It was cool to see. The nostalgia factor. This movie's old. It's in the top 50 movies of IMDb. And it's got a legendary director who brought it to American theater. Did it hold up? Or was it overhyped?
Oh, I mean well one I when it was it released in Technicolor? That's I did not check. 1940 I don't think so. I do not think it'd be in color.
1954.
1954.
I've never heard of the movie. I watched it. It definitely has some like solid. There's something about it, and maybe I think I have a clip coming up later. But we've watched a lot of old movies before, and you can kind of tell, like within the first 15 or 20 minutes, like this is like a solid film. Like maybe it won't be the best film, but like the fundamentals of film, maybe it's in the camera shooting or the dialogue, but you're like this is a good film. It's not something that, even though it's old, but it's got like good frame. I don't know if that's the best way to put it. I don't know if it was my favorite movie. I don't know if it would go on my top 100 or top 50 list. Um, it was more of like an interesting thought experiment. It's just an original idea. It's like a breath of fresh air. It's like, wow, that's never thought about that. You just got one scene or one basically set where you're looking at a bunch of different people, and
Yeah.
it's just cool.
Yeah, I really like the fact that you don't have that much information as a viewer. And like what you were saying, it could have gone the lesson of like don't judge someone just from what you see, because it literally could have gone in any direction because it's just like a man's opinions about what he's observing in the world. And we're not kind of gifted the alternate angles, and it's just the the opinions of those who interact with him. And it's pretty cool. You know, you're just kind of like watching a movie of a guy watching people. And it sounds a little weird to say, but that's it. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it holds up. It definitely wasn't color when it was released. The Technicolor release was way later in the 90s. But yeah, no, I mean, like it's crazy how film in quality, as long as the film is restored, like you can like if you have the negatives, you can get a 4K resolution out of the film. So like the quality is insane. It looks like it could have been filmed, like this decade. Slower pace, I think, than what we're used to these days. But I think it's really good, and it's like I like, or at least in the beginning, it was more kind of like there was more philosophy about voyeurism in it, right? Like, and then it kind of became like more of a detective. They kind of like were like, it's whatever. But like especially at the beginning, he was being challenged and saying like, and they definitely brought up how rude it is and how you should mind your own business, and it's like super impolite to it's just like what is it called? Tom Peep?
Peeping Tom.
Peeping Tom.
Yeah. Peeping Tom on Peeping Tom
Miss
on
Torso.
others. So and I like that like social commentary piece because I think that is still relevant in a lot of ways. Like voyeurism in general. And I think we see it with social media, especially like you kind of choose what your window looks like and what you're displaying outside the window, but you're all like kind of looking at each other's lives. And it's interesting because I don't know, not unrelated to the film's plot because they kind of just like dove into it and forgot about that point. But I think there is some substance there of just focusing on yourself and not obsessing, with others and their lives. In this case, there was a murder to be solved. But
It paid off this time.
yeah, normally it's probably
You got a nice
diminishing
show.
returns.
Yeah. You heard some good music. Watched basically a reality show of a woman about to kill herself.
Well, what do you guys think of the film if there was no murder? And he was fucking just good, like obsessing.
It changes it completely,
right?
yeah.
Like,
But it'd be just as good.
Yeah.
It'd arguably be better, right? It'd be more interesting, I think. Like the dude's going insane, and it's not. It'd be better, like from my take, because then it takes that piece of voyeurism and flips it on his head and says, hey, it kind of puts a value proposition saying, over obsessing about others can be bad, is bad. In this way, it kind of started with voyeurism and then ended with a detective story.
Yeah, and it probably would have ended earlier too if like the final piece of evidence didn't turn up, which is like the dog getting strangled, and like it probably would have just stopped there, and the value prop would have been mind your business.
Yeah.
But
You guys pick up on
murder
the
had
dog
to be
thing?
solved.
Sorry, the dog thing, that was, pretty clear, there's a body part in there, or was that kind of an afterthought? I don't know while you were watching it.
I think it was the weapon, and then after it was dug up, he removed it from the garden bed. I thought that's what they explained at the end. I thought they talked to it.
Was
yeah,
it
I
a
don't
body
know if we
part
knew
or a
exactly
gun?
what it was.
It was
Okay,
one of
but
the
it was
one of the
something.
knives, one of the knives things. Not a gun. It was like one of the saws.
But it had bodily fluids on it and
something in
was
there.
buried there and then moved.
Okay.
But the dog kept messing with it.
Yeah, I think we saw. What was I watching? Why Women Kill or something, and they had the exact same scene where the dogs, like some murder. They're in the garden bed. Dogs, get out of there, buddy. So I was wondering how that came across if you hadn't seen it before, but I think it's pretty similar.
Yeah, I thought everything was pretty clear.
Real quick on the nostalgia factor, I guess it was. Did you guys ever see Disturbia?
Yes.
So Disturbia, I haven't seen it either. With
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf is basically the same movie where he's on house arrest or something, and his neighbor's a killer. So
I have seen Disturbia. I have seen
Very much like suspense and like thriller aspect turned up to 100, and the philosophy
good,
turned
right?
down to like 0. It was super good.
okay,
But it was
Velocity's
just
to 0. It is just straight thriller.
Yeah,
So you
like
say
what's-
not as good as Rear Window, or different? enough
different.
to-
Still
okay.
still worth the watch. Still worth the watch. Pretty.
Still worth a watch.
Yeah, very
maybe
good.
Maybe not top 50 movies of all time according to IMDb.
But you remember?
Isn't there
seeing
another
that, Grant?
Rear Window too that is recent? 1998 Rear Window with Christopher Reeve, which I think was post paralysis, so I think that's why he was starred in it.
It's the same one. A remake.
A remake. It was an American made-for-television crime drama thriller film.
I mean, it's a very. You could kind of put this into a lot of different forms, where it's just someone, I'm sure someone will do it with like a podcast, making a podcast about, someone thinks they're a serial killer. You can do it in any way, it's just someone observing something that seems out of the norm, but they can't really do anything about it, so they're piecing together evidence from what they have. Maybe going a little off the deep end, maybe not, but I think it translates well and holds up.
Hell yeah.
So let's show the audience a couple things that we liked. So we're gonna start with Quinn's clip.
Ooh, okay. So my clip.
Do you want to introduce it a little bit, or
Pick a
Sure, I'll
clip.
just pick a clip. My clip that
Pick a
I
clip.
picked is basically the opening scene, and one thing that I touched upon a little bit earlier, where you can just kind of tell like it's a solid film, and basically the first clip is starts from his apartment building and goes out. Here, we can play it because there's not really a lot of dialogue, so I can talk through it.
You're gonna do a little voiceover.
A little director's commentary.
Yeah, a little voiceover. Actually,
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, so we go right out the window, and we basically get a little view of everybody's life, or all the different scenes you will see in the movie. So we see that ladder. I forgot. Are those the people? Who are those people? I don't remember.
We see them rarely.
Rarely. All right, we got the people that sleep outside on the fire escape.
the dog owners?
The dog owners, right? You got Miss Torso doing her dance. Did she do a dance in this one? I can't remember. You got that weird alleyway too that they really use to like show people leaving and coming out of the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it ends there. And then another couple fills this last window, but I think they come in a little bit later.
Yeah.
They're not. But yeah, I mean, you just see that and you're like, all right, this is what. I didn't really know a lot about the film going into it. I don't think I knew the perspective of it's just him. I just watch him. So I think that was a good first scene.
Yeah, it definitely draws you in and gives you a little bit of tape. You're like, one, it's beautiful. Two, slow pan, kind of visually interesting, making you pick up on a lot of things, and that kind of carries the theme throughout the rest of the movie. You're just going to be watching these things happen here.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good opener too. It was actually when I was picking, so we pick a clip, and my first choice was which is gonna be Pat's clip that he chose. So I was like, damn. Pat already picked this clip.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah,
I
be
was
quicker.
reading about this. I was reading about the cinema. The prompt more or less of these clips was, we want to showcase some cinematography in this film. So I was like, you know what, the opening scene, that's really good with cinematography, and that was Quinn's scene. So mine's a little bit different, but I thought this really, I mean, it showcased, it drew you in slowly, beautiful, actual set. You get to like kind of get an introduction of where you're at in the characters, and then you're not leaving. That's it, like strap in. That's the whole film, which I think is Hitchcock was. It almost feels like a writing or creative experiment, and I think Quinn kind of touched on this, earlier. It's oh, can we make a whole film in one set? Like in one scene, just one setting. And I think they got really creative with it, and it's really cool. And it's almost like if you were to, write a book with each chapter being a different character, right? Like that probably started as an experiment and a writing exercise. I think this did the same. And I think Hitchcock is most known for his storytelling and his breakthroughs and different methods of telling stories. Especially he was early on. That's why he's so well renowned. Is he kind of took the medium of cinema and made it like an art. And he's credited with a lot of that. And I think we see that in this film.
Definitely.
Where's the clip?
Oh, that wasn't an intro to the clip. That was responding to your
sorry.
clip.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
I thought they were connected. I didn't know. I don't know what your clip is. So.
I'm
clip-
gonna share my clip next.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
Say the best for last.
Okay, I'll share Grant's then. No, I'll share mine. So this is kind of the apex of the suspense, I would say. They have they know that the killer, is a confirmed killer, and he is barging into Jeffrey's apartment to confront him, and because he knows that Jeffrey's been watching him.
So, quick question before we play this: how it was confirmed because she had the wedding ring?
Yes.
So, but like that's still circumstantial evidence.
Yeah. They
Movie
made a real big
confirmed.
deal about
Movie
that. They're like,
confirmed.
I would never take off that ring.
Yeah, but like it's super circumstantial,
There could be many things that would lead to the removal of a wedding ring, but movie confirmed.
Movie confirmed. Yeah. It's true. It's true.
In universe confirmed.
It wasn't the painting of the blood splattered walls. It was that damn ring.
Confirmed in the lore.
Yeah, canon confirmed.
Canon confirmed.
All right, let's see.
Can you get me that ring back? No. Tell her to bring it back. I can't. The police have it by now.
Confirmed.
All right.
He doesn't learn his lesson.
No. So basically, for those just listening, the killer is approaching Jeffries. He's sitting on his wheelchair with his camera in hand and just taking pictures, I guess, or simulating the
No.
flash.
Yeah, that's how they did flash photography.
So he's just using the
Flashing
camera
him.
flash. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
flashing him to blind him in the dark room. And you go back and forth between the killer's perspective and Jeffrey's perspective. And when it's the killer's perspective, you're getting like a screen blur almost, like when you can't see something, like looking into the sun, it's very red before coming back into focus again. It's kind of like a stop-start kind of motion.
Yeah,
And then
it's
it
cool.
pans back. It's very cool, very suspenseful, and
I think it's symbolic as well. It's bringing the killer into light.
maybe not quite so suspenseful, but it is symbolic.
It's like
Yeah.
the height of the film, though. That is the climax.
Yeah, it's
climatic action.
and it's like confirming that Jeffries isn't crazy. While we thought the ring was circumstantial and they were kind of more certain of it, now he's in his apartment and threatening him and approaching him in a threatening manner. Quinn, you're hankering to say something.
I am. I thought it was a great scene and a build-up. I mean, the suspense of, finally you get to the point where he looks at Jeffries, through the camera, the binoculars. Finally there's that moment of like, oh shit, it happened. They lock eyes. And then he comes over, and it's very suspenseful because you're like, I mean, he has no way out. I just thought that they overplayed the Flash a bit because he does it like 6 times or something. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it got a little ridiculous, and I think I laughed out loud by the 4th time or something because he said, when's it going to stop? Like, why can't the other guy close his eyes? Like, what? Does he not understand? Because it was such a scary scene until that point where, I mean, he's defenseless. This guy could just strangle him, and yeah, he does try and throw him out the window, but like, it's like a Dumb and Dumber scene where it's like, it happens. I don't know how many times it happens. 4 or 5 times where you're like, okay, I get it. Next.
Yeah.
And it's the same sequence of like panning back to him with like his vision blurring.
I guess I'll try again.
And like even the scene just now ended, and it's such a funny face on the killer.
He's like,
Yeah, he's like, "Whoa."
so just a 9, 10 out of 10 scene, but I think a little bit tainted by just some overacting. Or over dramatization. I don't know.
Yeah. A little over the top.
A little over the top. You didn't need it
Yeah.
all. You could have just had 2 flashes and have a suspenseful scene.
Yeah, I think these films, I feel like older films kind of have a bigger suspension of disbelief, where, you're like, yeah, that's a cool effect. Wow.
Yeah.
And like if you're in the theater, you're kind of flashed, and then you come into focus, and it's like on a roller coaster, like the loops don't get old, man. Throw 4 loops at me, boom, boom, boom. I'm not gonna be like, hey, I get it.
Yeah, it's
I
a
know what a
treat.
loop is. I'm like, yeah, give me the
Flash
loop.
photography, it's cool. Not everyone can do it. You need
Yeah.
special equipment.
Yeah, we're used to Disturbia with crazy people crawling through the gutters and being hunted through the floor. I don't know.
Yeah.
A simple flash doesn't rustle our jimmies like it used to.
Not like he used to.
Nope.
All right, Grant. Hopping
yeah.
into the best clip.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean the first 2 that I picked were both yours, but
Gotta be quick.
yep. This one is I think a peak suspense as well, and I picked this one for a few reasons. Like again, we've highlighted it a few times, but the cinematography is that you're really in the shoes of Jeff the whole film, right? You're in that room. And I think this clip really highlights that kind of feeling of like entrapment, right? He's stuck in his room.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Lisa! Please.
Precinct 6, Sergeant Allgood.
Hello. Look, a man is assaulting a woman at 125 West 9th Street, 2nd floor, at the rear. No, make it fast. L.B. Jeffries. Chelsea, 25598.
So they're watching him. What the hell is this?
Yeah, the handbag is out. This is like what's his name? Thoroughherd?
Thorgood?
Thorough.
Or what do you mean, the salesman?
Yeah,
Thorwald.
Thurlwall. This is when he catches Lisa breaking into his place. And there's nothing you can do about it, you know? Like, now you can, like, give him the phone call, cell phone. You can, like, I don't know, like,
You can record
sound
it.
an alarm. Yeah, you can record it.
Facebook Live.
I'm surprised he didn't really take any photos besides of the flowers, right? That's the only photo he took was the flowers, or was he taking photos the whole time and just it didn't show like the clicking?
Yeah, I didn't see him take photos. Maybe I don't know what other evidence might have come up of photos, but I think you're right.
Yeah. Well, anyways, to go back to the clip, this was a good one. Just reiterating what I said, you're stuck, right? And luckily, he got on the phone with the police, and they were quick to respond. But you're kind of just like it gives you that feeling where you're just locked in, and you just are just watching this happen, and you can't do anything about it. And it's someone you care about, and they're in a bad situation. It's like, you know what? Yeah. I'm sure you just feel helpless. And I thought the cinematography did a good job in this scene of displaying that.
Yeah, and to add on to that, his relationship with Lisa up until this point was strained, you know? He's kind of going crazy or being very paranoid about this neighbor. He's immobilized, can't work, kind of depressed. And through it all, she's been kind of like the perfect girlfriend. But he won't marry her. He doesn't want to like take the relationship further. And she's still treating him with, you know, with great kindness, treating him to great food, you know, got some sensual, you know, some lingerie for him. And eventually even buys and supports his, you know, conspiracy theory that and joins him watching. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just interesting. Like, I think this is when he kind of like realizes the gravity of the situation. I think that he could be in danger too.
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, this is when he probably like realizes he does really care about her, you know, and he's like, "Fuck, I could lose her." Mm-hmm. Shit.
He did tell her not to go in there. He just said, "Go dig up that stuff," but that's besides the point. I agree with your analyses.
Cool. We've talked over some of the, you know, main aspects of the film, some of the highlights. Was there anything that you guys particularly saw throughout the movie, through each of the windows, about the people that really built this story and made it feel real to you? Or was it the combination of many different, you know, of the community that created a sense of realism for you guys? Quinn, what do you think?
Well, I'm kind of ambivalent on some of those other people. Like, it was nice. For instance, the, like, Miss Lonely, who's kind of this lonely woman who's looking for love, and she was going to kill herself or something, and she eventually shacks up with the piano dude, who's also a sad dude who just plays beautiful music, but also throws some cool parties.
That was a banger.
That was a banger back in the 50s.
Packed house.
Oh, just, oh, God. Rest in peace, those neighbors. It was nice to see, but I don't think I was that interested. I think maybe I was most interested in the married couple, which and maybe it's because you didn't see a lot of them. You know, their windows closed for most of the film, and you're like, I wonder what's going on in there. You know, that's where my curiosity was. I didn't really care for the people that, you know, you could see everything. You go, there's nothing here. But for the things that you don't know, you go, hey, I wonder what's going on there.
I think they were feeling the strains of newlywed apartment life, because whenever we would see him, he'd be opening the window and like trying to smoke a cigarette, and she'd be like, Harry, he'd be like, stop talking to me.
It's like they don't nag in this neighborhood, they discuss or something.
No,
Or some
no.
line like that.
No, yeah, it was, but that was about women in general. Is they said women don't nag, they discuss. No, women don't nag anymore. They discuss. That was
They
the line.
discuss.
I wrote it down.
It was a
Empowered.
popular line in the 50s. Stop discussing. But yeah, that's the dog is kind of cool that they lifted up the dog. I mean, that was. I don't know if people
think
actually
would
do
slide
that
anymore.
Yeah. And they
And
were
then they
teaching
got the
new
puppy.
dog.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What about you, Grant?
Yeah, I mean, I think it added a lot to the film. I think it was only focusing on Thorwald and that murder. I don't think it would have the charm it did. I liked Miss Lonely Hearts and the piano player. That was good.
Did you like Miss Torso, Grant? Did you miss her?
Who was
She's-
that?
Who?
Which one was she?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't
which was
really
Miss Torso?
see her in that film. It was. I was thinking about the murder. You know, it was really analytical. I didn't have time for any shows. Oh, she does shack up with that the little army dude at the end.
She was
That
married the
she
whole
was married the whole
time.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was supposed to show because Lisa, you know, he was basically implying that Lisa has guys over her place and entertains as well. And Lisa's like, when they were looking at Miss Torso, she said that Miss Torso didn't love any of them. And then Jeff is like, dude, Jeff, the whole fucking movie is like so cringe to me, like towards Lisa, especially towards the beginning. You're like, dude, you are so annoying. Like, oh my God, how do you have any friends? Like, you just need to stop talking.
What, bitching about life,
Everything.
about how hard his job is or something?
It's just like everything.
How you gonna be in
is
the
like-
cold? And you're
Yeah,
gonna
it's
eat
just,
things from the rainforest.
he's not even like sassy in a joking way. He's just like negative energy. And you're like, okay, dude. He's like a grouch, you know? But anyways, I thought that was a callback to Lisa saying that Miss Torso loved someone else. And then we see, you know, she said Miss Torso didn't love any of those guys. And then we see that she, in fact, didn't because she was married or in love with, you know, her army boy.
Faithful.
There's a line, unrelated, but a line, like the first time when he hangs out with Lisa that she's introduced, I guess they like kind of break up for a day, kind of.
Yeah,
But-
like
Something,
he's
no?
like, when's she coming
toxic.
back? Like, when are you coming back? And she's like, I don't know, or something.
Yeah.
It was a little ambiguous.
It was
a little
weird. But while they were having that, and it felt like a breakup, he's like, "Can't we just keep things status quo?" I was like, that should be a line when you're having a breakup, you know? Can't we just keep things status quo?
We don't need labels. We don't need commitment.
Yeah,
Status
when-
quo.
Status quo.
I like
Girlfriend
that.
wants the wedding ring. Can't we just keep this status quo?
Status quo.
Do other people talk like that, or is that just the way that guy talks in all the movies, or is that like,
Reminds me of Nick Cage, man.
yeah,
feel
like
like
he's
Nick
got his
Cage-
own way of talking?
Didn't we? I think there was someone else. I think when we watched another old. I think it was like an old movie thing.
Well, he was in
Well,
It's
he
a
was
Wonderful
in
Life.
It's
as
a Wonderful
well.
Life. He
He's
just-
very
Oh.
famous.
Yeah. So he talked like that. Hey.
Same actor. I didn't even make that connection.
Yeah, he's a pretty big
Yes,
actor.
we're at a loss. I don't know. Unless we find our time travel machine. Time machine.
So, flip side,
Yeah.
the main focus, the villain score.
Mmm.
Forget what his name was. Thurmgood, something like that.
Thorwald.
Thorwald, the salesman.
Thorwald. Yes, Lars Thorwald.
Did
Lars.
y'all buy into his antagonistic energy? Did you find him scary, mysterious? Did you wonder if he really had it in him to be a killer? How would you classify him?
Well, I was going back and forth. I mean, there was definitely a point in the film where I was like, this could all be a big setup to, show the reverse side of peeping in on people's lives, and this guy has a perfectly reasonable explanation. So, um, I don't know. We don't know a lot about him. We don't hear him talk until he comes into the apartment. You just see actions. So it's tough to say. You just hear like hearsay, like you kind of figure out, oh, his wife's like an invalid and he doesn't
He has a
bicker,
girlfriend.
he has a girlfriend or something, and you're like, I guess he could kill the person. I don't know.
Do you think that takes away? I agree with you. There's not a lot of information known. He's not really scary or threatening. It's just kind of a question mark. Do you think that kind of takes away from a movie where there's not like a strong antagonist to kind of oppose the main character? Or in this movie, did the self versus self kind of like Jeffrey's going through his trials of, recovery? Did that kind of carry the antagonistic energy?
I think. What do you think, Quinn?
No, I was gonna ask him to repeat that.
So
Like,
typically,
what-
like,
what was- I was trying to
protagonist
figure
versus
out the question.
antagonist.
Yeah.
This could either, typically it's like man versus man, where it would be Jeffries versus Thurwall.
Mhm.
But Thurwall is not really like a typical antagonist. We don't really know he's a killer until the very end, and there aren't enough clues for the audience to be like overly suspicious or overly fearful. Does that take away from the movie? Or does the man versus self, Jeffries versus Jeffries, supplement the lack of a traditional antagonist?
Yeah, I think it took away a degree, right? Like there's the unknown if he's even a villain for the majority of the film. So you don't really like. I really wasn't like bought in and like rooting for him to be the villain one way or another. I'm just like detecting with them. I thought Jeff honestly was jumping the gun for most of it. I'm like, dude, I mean, he could be like, these are, everything is circumstantial evidence, so, and like, I thought the biggest scene of suspense, I mean, there were two, right? The one both of them we watched. One was yours, Pat, where he's being confronted, and that doesn't last that long, and it does feel a little comical with the flashes. And he's just kind of like stumbling like a ogre in the dark. And then the other one was the mic clip that I showed before. She's not in danger for more than like 15 seconds on camera, So like, I think there are not a lot of stakes. And I don't know, since you're viewing from a distance, he doesn't feel like you don't know anything about him, I don't know if that's the point, it's just kind of like, it's from a distance.
I think it is a mystery film, so you're not like, just because you don't know anything about the antagonist doesn't mean like it doesn't hold up or you don't buy in. Like, it's a mystery, you don't know, so it's kind of like the villain score is like a question mark. Like, I don't know who. For the majority of the film, I didn't know if there was a villain.
Yeah, villain.
So,
Villain?
question mark.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine the way it is.
I side a little bit more with Grant, and I left. That was my one like major criticism of the movie. Is I felt like there could have been a little bit more like either at stake or opposing Jeffries rather than him just like stumbling through his personal interactions. I don't know. It just kind of felt a little
Like they had
light.
more phone calls back and forth, building up a rapport. Like,
I don't even know what
I'm not gonna tell you, you mother effer.
Yeah, something like that. Just a little bit of something to create a little bit.
He caved quick. He was like, I don't have a lot of money. Like after he sent him that note.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It was just kind of like it just felt a little weak.
Yeah, I agree. I also thought it was, related to the villain, like everything was circumstantial evidence, and then he like confessed immediately to the cops. Like, dude should have gotten a lawyer and shut the fuck up.
Stuck to his guns.
Yeah.
Didn't he confess like what was in the bed, like the flower bed and things like that? Like,
You're gonna go to
immediately.
the East River. I think that's
Yeah,
what they said.
he sang like a whatever the saying is, a jailbird.
Sung like a canary.
Mm-hmm.
Sang like a canary.
Bitch.
Bitch.
She's negotiating.
Oh, forget about it.
Cool. All right, let's score this bad boy. Grant, you want to pull up the old-fashioned report card?
Oh yes.
It's movie grading time. What is this? Grant.
Grant.
He's clicking on. Oh, not. What about this one? No, I wanted a drum roll, not just drums. You know?
You can't do the roll.
No,
Sorry,
it's just,
I'm.
it's Grant. Yeah. No, you can't do a drum roll, but Grant, you're on a roll. Should be
Oh,
a
show my
boo
screen here.
react too. That's probably not the share screen button.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Gotta fix that cinematography. Is that, maybe we need a hyphen in there or something. That's,
What do you mean?
looks,
Is that
So
better?
our first.
yeah, sure.
That's better. Okay, so our first category is cinematography. So we've kind of touched on this throughout, our clips and even our introduction. We even had one of our viewers comment in and chime there, opine what their thoughts were. Singing high praises.
Can I go first?
Yeah, Grant, take it away.
4.
wow.
4 out of 4.
Out of 4.
This
Is
whole
that a
film,
4?
yeah, 4 out of 4. This whole film is the cinematography. Again, like I said, it kind of feels like an exercise in a way. I think this film was built off of the single setting, seeing the beautiful set stage design of everyone else's apartments. You still feel like you're in New York, even though you only have like this much view of the street, you know. You can see the word bar and that's it. I thought this is what was the most interesting, best part of the film. 4.
Can I go next, Patrick?
Take it away.
Grant beat me to it, but I was gonna put a 4 as well out of 4 stars. Because
Copier.
A copier, that's right. I took his clip, so he's pissed. I think this is the best part of the film
The best part.
and the most original. I guess it's the unique part of the film. It's, I think, why it's had such a high ranking and continues to have a high ranking. So 4 stars. I'll do a little action. I got 4.
I'll go 3.5. Without a well-designed set, this movie would have flopped. Mr. Hitchcock knew exactly what he was doing, performed it excellently. I don't think it was perfect, but I thought it was excellent. All right, plot. Let's go same order. Grant, Quinn, myself.
All right. Plot. Just think about this. Out of 4 stars.
It's tough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cinematography was so easy because it was, you know,
2.5. Like I think I made the point that I think you, with older films, you feel, or I feel like you kind of have to suspend your disbelief a little bit more. This was theatrical in a lot of ways, but I think a lot of old films are. I I mean, it's wildly unlikely that his neighbor is committing a murder in that apartment, in his view, right? In general. So I don't know. I was not really that like drawn in by the plot, to be honest. So 2.5.
I'm gonna go with 2, Grant. If you could throw me up there for 2.
Yes, sir.
Again, plot. I mean, someone killing someone. That's, I guess, if you're including this element of, oh, and he's in his apartment the whole time viewing it, like that's kind of plot, but also kind of cinematography. And I'm just gonna lump that more into cinematography versus like a plot, like a simple mystery. Who killed? Did he kill her? Plot. Nothing. Dogs digging in the flowers. Nothing too crazy there. So 2 out of 4.
I'm gonna go 2.5. This felt like it has suffered from time because murder's the most popular.
It's hot.
Yeah, it's so everyone loves a good killing, and people have done it much better and much more interesting, and have had way more devices and other things to incorporate into their story. So if I saw this in 1954, I probably would have been, you know,
They didn't kill people in
In
1954.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh my god, could be my neighbor too. I have to watch out. But this barely, shocks me.
And
So,
just adding to that, no twists. No twists. No
Yeah.
twists.
No.
You're just
as
like,
an arrow.
yep.
The twist was no twist. That's
Then that's deserved.
Characters, Grant.
Deserved. Characters. Ooh, yeah. So this is honestly, I think I'm going to. I didn't really. I thought I didn't like any of the characters. I thought he was like not a good character. I did not really care about him. I thought he was really annoying and negative the whole time, to be honest.
And rude.
And rude. Doyle was okay. Like I don't know. Like the whole movie centered around him, and he's like very unlikable. So you're just kind of like, okay. I think the plot would have probably improved if the characters were better. I just didn't like Jeff at all, and he's the whole film. So 2.
I'm gonna go with 3 stars out of 4 stars. I think everybody was, in a very literal sense, a character. They kind of had one thing going for them, and very memorable, not remember. Were
Easy to remember.
easy to remember. Maybe they weren't the most, fleshed out, dynamic characters, but I don't think they needed to be. And Jeffries didn't really bother me that much as you and Pat, Grant. So yeah, 3 out of 4.
I'm gonna go 2. I also didn't like Jeffries, but felt like that was okay. Felt like the other people were fine. My biggest gripe is on
Miss Torso.
the antagonist. The Thurwall. I like a good opposing force, and it felt like he was a limp noodle. All right, let's add them up. We've got 8, 11 and a half,
11.5.
out of 12.
Wow.
Impeccable. impeccable cinematography. Plot, we've got
Ooh.
7 out of 12.
Needs improvement.
Could be better,
And 7.
and 7 for characters.
Quick math. Well, it is what it is.
Cinematography is really strong.
we're still-
I don't think a lot would disagree, right? Like the cinematography, I think is this film is known for. The plot, the characters. You know, when Quinn was saying that they're memorable, but they don't have to be like that 3-dimensional. I think what you kind of said, Pat, about plot, I think applies here as well. Is like strong character design has been improved upon. You know, for the 70 years after this film came out. These characters are okay. I just, I don't know why they made him so kind of grouchy and insufferable. I don't think it needed to be that way.
Broke his leg.
He's been cooped up for a while.
Yeah, it's
He's
hot.
used to a life of adventure. It's hot. I kind of get it, but still, I agree with you. It seems like he's got a lot of other things going for him.
Yeah, he has like a person who comes over and bathes him every day, and he's just like
Gives him a
complaining.
massage.
Yeah. And then his girlfriend is like loving, and he's like, "Yeah, it's just not gonna work."
It's not gonna
When
work.
she's like Grace Kelly was like the hottest woman on earth,
Yeah,
and he's just like, you're.
she's too
Oh,
perfect.
Packed too much clothes.
She's not ordinary.
Where's this lobster? It's frozen.
Dude, when he says, when he's talking about like war, and he's like, like those high heels would be great in the jungle or something. You're like,
Yeah.
just stop talking. And like, I don't know. But anyways,
Are they gonna last?
Probably.
No,
They
I
just
think
had a great
he-
triumph.
yeah, I think they'll last.
Well, she tried to get into some travel stuff and then put that magazine down. Ending scene, got right back into the fashion. So it's gonna be tough. All right, we got a lot of stars.
So IMDb, over under.
The
It's
patent.
sitting-
Oh my God!
the-
Is it the
Time for the
over under?
patented over under review.
It was
We are
patented
going to
elsewhere,
look
though,
at-
right?
Yes.
I think so.
Trademarked.
Yeah,
Long
trademarked.
patented.
Where we decide whether the true rating of Rear Window is over or under the IMDb rating.
Yes. Rear Window is sitting at a whopping 8.5. As we mentioned earlier, it is number 49.
Wait, what was
On-
the score again?
8.5. That's an 8.5. 49?
What are they saying in the chant? I don't know.
Out. The Grant.
Keg, maybe like keg
Oh,
stand.
yeah.
Oh, maybe.
I will lead. I'm going to go under. I wouldn't. It was a good movie, but 49 is awfully high, and I just can't do it.
40. You mean 8.5, right?
Well, yeah.
We're 49 out of like the top 49.
Oh, the top
films
okay,
of
yeah,
all time. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm gonna jump on this. I'm gonna be your caboose here.
That's
Or
crazy
maybe-
high.
Yeah, that's insane. I'm going under as well. I think 8.5 in general is pretty high. Alfred Hitchcock is iconic, but I think there's probably higher films in the top 250 by Hitchcock that are probably more worthwhile. This was not that thrilling. Like he's known as a thriller director. This was probably one of his least thrilling, films because it's. I mean, the danger is so there's no stakes really.
Where's the danger?
Where's the danger? 8.5 is really high and 49 of all time. You feel bad. I feel bad like saying this old iconic film shouldn't deserve to be in top one
But you
50
said
of all
it,
time.
so
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe is that a generational difference? Maybe we can't appreciate it. I don't know, but
It could
I'm
be.
going under. I'm going under.
Psycho's 32. That's his only one that's higher.
See, this is second best film ever.
Grant's shook. I'm gonna go under as well. I thought it was good. I liked it. I mean, solid film, better than I expected. Yeah, but I don't think I would watch it again anytime soon.
Anytime. Wow.
Now, Christmas is coming up. It's a Wonderful Life. That might get a little rewatch from me, but
Well, we're
And many
hanging out
other
during...
families across America.
yeah, can we hang out and we watch that?
No, I want to watch Rear Window.
Fuck, man. I don't know what to do about that.
We'll watch it together.
Okay. All right. Well, double feature maybe. A little James Stewart double feature.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
3 unders.
A unanimous under. IMDb, please remove it from the top 50 movies. You could just put 51. We'd be fine. Okay. Thank you guys for listening to Rear Window. We have a new movie to be selected, though. The show is not yet over, though it is near.
But
Our
who
next-
selects that?
Our next director is none other than Quinn McHale.
Oh my God. Thank you. All right. I accept this role. All right, you can chill with the applause. No standing O's here. All right, so for next week, because we are doing a show every other week, bi-weekly fits us very well. Now, a little bit of backstory. I have a little soft spot, and Grant may have another soft spot in his heart for parodies of things, of life, of songs. And I saw something that came out that I thought was interesting, that I wanted to give a whirl. I don't really know too much about, but it is for next week's
The fact
film.
that you are not selecting Click is beyond me.
Oh well, we got years for Click.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
okay,
this is
sorry.
hot. This is Weird, the Al Yankovic story, which I think just premiered last week on HBO Max, and I think it's a parody movie itself. I don't really know a lot about it, but as a kid, I was always into Weird Al, and I don't know what's going on with him now. And so this came out, and I think it'll be a fun movie to review. So next week, Weird, the Al Yankovic story.
Nice pick.
Nice. Also, just adding, you said you were a fan of Weird Al when you were a kid. We also, were fans, in high school of Lonely Island, who
Yes.
is very, parody central. I'm sure took a lot of influence from Weird Al, who's kind of the OG of those parody songs. So
Before
this
the
is cool.
internet, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, that was Childish Gambino.
Okay.
But no, that was a reference. One of his albums is called Before the Internet. Okay.
I understand.
I was making a joke.
That's why I cut it off.
That was pretty good. All right, cool. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I didn't expect it, but it's it's a nice little something I probably wouldn't have watched, but immediately I'm interested in it. So solid pick.
We'll see.
Cool.
All right.
Well, that's all, folks. That's what we've got. The show is concluding. Any final words, guys?
Yeah, thank you all for watching, listening. We have pretty much 2 links to name. We have an Instagram, which is Quarter Life Critics, all one string. That's our handle. From there, that's the easy one. Just go to the bio, and our YouTube should be linked. Our YouTube should be linked in the description of this as well, I think.
Yeah, or you go to youtube.com/@@ Quarter Life Critics. That'll work too.
Oh, that's okay. That's what you're saying. That's new. We don't have to have 50,000
Nope. Weird.
Subscribers anywhere.
Yep. We have
Wow.
our unique handle.
Quarter Life Critics. That's our
The
handle.
@ sign at the beginning. Yeah.
At
That's
the at.
us.
That's us on Instagram, YouTube. Twitter is bankrupt, so not there.
For now.
Thanks all. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.